Okay, so thank you for taking time to tune in to this podcast. This is the Engaging for Change platform, giving young people the opportunity to kind of discuss and share views. Today, got a young person here. He's had a really cool story, been through a lot, and they want to kind of, share their story to help others. So, just kind of thanks again. So, how's it going? So we got, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Henry Toll.
Yeah, so how are you today, Henry?
Yeah, I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Weather's got better, so that's okay, I suppose.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah? So so basically, we kind of explained, innit, this is just about, we've spoken before about everything what's gone on with the school situation. Luckily, you're doing well, regardless of what you've been through, because you've been through a lot.
Yeah.
But for those out there, just, I don't know, what kind of stuff are you into? And just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm into skateboarding.
Nice.
And drawing and stuff. And go exploring, go on lots of trains and things like that.
What kind of exploring?
Usually going to abandoned places, things like that. They're like urbex.
Urbex, if you're not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Stuff like that. And then I usually keep to myself quite a lot and just chill around.
Nice.
Yeah.
So just pretty chilled, yeah?
Yeah.
Bit of exploring.
Nothing too crazy.
Been to any kind of what was the best place you've been, what you've explored?
I've explored quite a lot of places. I'll say one place. Went to a place in Eastbourne. There's an abandoned hotel type place. That was pretty sick, man. Had 8 stories tall.
Whoa, where? Seafront? Or
Eastbourne.
Was it on the seafront
Yeah,
bit,
on the seafront bit.
Mad.
Super mad building, but sadly been closed off by security now. But
what was that like? Was it still like how the hotel was and stuff?
Yeah, bro, everything was left behind, but then after a few weeks, the whole place got vandalized by other kids in Eastbourne. So the whole place, there was people doing videos online of before and after videos of the place. The place got wrecked.
No way. So with Urbex then, so what the guys do, you just go and have a little look and leave it how it is.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to break in. What I'm saying, you go try and find a way in, because half the time on a big building like that, there'll be something left open because it's quite difficult to remember to close every door. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, once you get in, you look around, take some photos as you do. If I know that you may find something pretty cool. I believe one of my mates actually found money in a bando before. Don't take shit, because if police come, you're gonna get arrested.
Yeah.
And it's not you're gonna also get put in cells and get a criminal record. And it's really peak.
But if you just have a little look, then they just...
Well, what they'll do, they'll find you if they do, and then they'll detain you, but you wouldn't be arrested or anything. At the beginning, they'll probably just do it there and right now, at the bando, search you to see if you stole anything. They'll find out you didn't, and then they'd let you go as you did nothing.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So we're not saying everybody go out urban exploring, but there's a lot of young people who do, and
it's not necessarily illegal.
Okay. So if you're smart about it. I mean, if it's open, you've just gone in, you just explored it.
It's more of a civil thing. Trespass is more of a you just kind of walked in, as long as you didn't, because there's a difference between civil trespass and then aggravated trespass. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, there we go. So that's, we learn something new every day.
That's Urbex for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes.
So, all right. So with education and stuff. So obviously, we've spoken before, and I understand you've got a tutor and stuff, and everything's going well in terms of your learning. But how have we got to you needing to have a tutor and stuff? How's your journey? What did that look like?
Well, kind of started because I was struggling in school, but I wasn't necessarily a guy who hated school. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I actually liked school. It's just I found school really difficult because probably neurodiversities, things like that. I've got ADHD, autism.
So sometimes being told to sit there, concentrate, do something. After a while,
it was also there's a lot of kids in my class. I'm not trying to sound it should just be me and I'm spoiled for that. Nah, it's not like that. I just generally thought all the kids in my class was too much for just me as well. I kind of need one-to-one learning. It's like some kids, you'll find some kids will say that as well. Like,
I mean,
it just happens sometimes.
yeah, because I think
about one teacher teaching 30 kids, right?
And you're all learning at different speeds.
Yeah.
If you fall behind,
they're like smart kids, and then they'll just be like, "All right, everyone's in the class like the smart kid," and then like if you're really not doing well, you'll be really falling behind, and that's kind of how I found myself quite a lot.
And did you find that it was just getting more and more difficult because like
it's making me really sad because I was watching everyone around me like doing all the work, and like I would be trying so hard, I'd be going like getting to lesson on time every day, but it just still wasn't ever enough.
So essentially, you're doing your best, but you just feel like it's just not good enough, and you're just like, why am I even here?
That's exactly what I felt, and that's kind of what brought me to start like bunking off school. And kind of like bunking off school is not a good thing because it's kind of a habit almost. You just do it because you're bored and you don't want to be there, and that's kind of the reason I left school. I'm still like in school, but I actually got what I wanted. I got like one-to-one tutor.
So you're on roll at school.
I could go back there if I wanted to.
because you're on roll at school.
I could do my GCSEs at where I go to school.
But they're obviously offering you like education away from school,
well, yeah,
which is more suited to you.
It's because I got an EHCP plan, like EHCP.
Okay.
Which is like extra funding from the government.
So that's like an educational plan, yeah?
Yeah, like the reason I have the tutor in the first place is because the government has actually given me like extra money. They haven't given us like cash or anything. Like they still have all the money. They've just like funding this like tutor to come to my house like, on some days for so many hours, and then they will teach me maths, English, and science.
Cool. So my understanding of EHCP, so obviously it's a legal document which schools have to adhere to, yeah? So say, for example...
Well, there's one thing. You have to have a neurodiversity to have it.
Yeah, so if you've been diagnosed with ADHD...
You won't be able to get it if you're not diagnosed. It'd take a lot longer to get it as well.
Okay, so if you've been diagnosed with ADHD or autism, and you feel that you might have that, then you can look into having an EHCP, which then...
Definitely, yeah. It literally could be anyone could do it.
So what does it look like? You have to have an assessment, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying it comes quick. I'll be honest with you, do it more like earlier than never because like it took me like 3 years. I don't know if that's still the same, but like it's what it's like, man. There's like lots of people trying to get this. There's lots of reasons people want to do it. Like they've got to prioritise. Like, it's not quick, but like if you get it, I would say that you're lucky. Man.
So 3 years it took. So if that's 3 years, that's 3 years.
It could be shorter though. That's the thing.
But then how long was you like? So
I got it just in time because if it took 4 years, I would have got it right at the end of like Stringer, and then that means I would have just never got it in the first place when I wanted it. Like what we wanted at the beginning, we wanted this EHCP plan probably from like year 9. I got it at the very beginning of year 11, so it was better late than never. Do you know what I mean?
So that means you struggled with a couple of years at school then.
Yeah.
Like just like hating being there.
I can't lie. I always struggled in school since year 6, but I didn't ever really do that bad. I wasn't like a bad paid student. I could do maths and English. I was pretty good at art as well and like DT. That's like some of the things I generally miss from doing school because when you do tutor, it's really hard to get art tutors and like DT tutors or stuff like that. Like that stuff starts limiting down.
Yeah, so it's mainly like, okay, we're going to focus on maths and English.
Just the three main ones, maths, English, science, the main ones you need to get past.
Okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend? So then what did you find difficult in year 6 and 7? Because like my point is there might be some young people out there who might be struggling in year 7, year 6.
Yeah.
Who, if it's going to take 3 years, you need to get a move on now and try and get that support. But what was you finding difficult, like, if that makes sense?
I was finding it difficult. I know this isn't I know it's not as linked to what we're talking about, but this is one big thing. I found that a lot of my friends from year 6 changed when I got into year 7. It's like a big drastic change from year 6 to 7.
Okay.
And like, I remember like feeling lonely at school definitely did not help with like needing to concentrate as well. Because like it's always best to have some of your pals at school. And I remember I felt quite lonely in year 7, to be honest. Didn't really have many mates. I actually made majority of my friends when I left school in year 11. I did make more friends throughout the years, but I can't lie, school's like, it's just not good for me. Like, it wasn't really good for me. It's like, school doesn't work out for everyone. That's what I found with it.
Yeah, okay, so you're saying that, so you felt lonely, but what were things like with work and learning?
Well, like, it was hard to concentrate in school, I'd say, because like a lot on my mind all the time, and I also like not having like a mate in your lesson as well was quite difficult. I know that half the time mates distract you, but for me, I always wanted a mate in my lesson.
I suppose because you got a mate, you can, like, if you're not sure of something, you might be able to say to your mate, "Oh, look, am I doing it right?" Or you can support each other.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just like,
there was also a lot of like where I was like sat in the classroom as well, where I got like sat down. Like, I remember I was sat at the front of many of my lessons and I felt very exposed because like I know that being sit at the front would be good because it's good for listening, but I always wanted to be like more in the middle, and like because of my surname it just kind of meant that I was like sat at the front. It was just one of those things, you know what I mean?
and that essentially sounds like you were
I
struggling with that.
thought people were looking at me from behind and I couldn't see them, man. It was just making me all weird.
Like, I feel uncomfortable and anxious and stuff.
I felt like scared to cough sometimes. It was just weird. It was just some psychological shit, man.
That sounds like it was tense.
It was just a lot of times doing the same thing in the same lessons, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was just like always the same.
That sounds quite traumatising, but all right, so speeding.
Not too traumatizing, it's just like enough to not make you like something.
Yeah. So, okay, so then looking at things now, so you've managed to get all that support in place. You said the EHCP can take up to kind of like 3 years.
Yeah.
Was there like an assessment? Were you involved in getting that plan?
I can't lie, not really what I can remember off the top of my head. I think one of the times they sent like some women into my class secretly without telling anyone, and they kind of just stood on the side with like a notepad writing things down, probably looking at just me. But they never really told me much, really. Like, I know there was a few meetings like there and now that I'd have to go to speak about it, but
That's what I mean. So the meetings you're going to and speaking about it, that's obviously them listening to like what you need. In the meetings, they might be like, okay, well, how do you find it easy learning, or what helps you? What's gone well, and then that gives you the opportunity to like talk about what works, and then they can put that in a plan moving forward.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you one thing. I have one thing they did. They sent a lot of teachers, like learning mentor teachers, from my school to come to my house, and they would almost speak for the EHCP people for them to me, and then they'd be like, all right, so this is going to happen with this, and when the HCP plan happens, this is what we're going to do. I remember one of the head of my like years came, and also like one of my old learning mentors came, so I spoke to them for quite a while. It was quite interesting. Yeah.
So like college, what are your plans moving forward? Have you got a college in place, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Pompton College, which is in like Sussex, and they do like it's more like outdoors college more than an indoors. They have got education, like learning education inside of some of the buildings, but it's mainly got like horticulture.
I'm aware of that. So they do like engineering, horticulture, working with horses.
They also do forestry and stuff like that.
Okay, nice. So
tree surgeons and you can even like mend a tractor there, mate. They've got everything. It's a crazy place.
Nice. So is that like a multi course where you do a little bit of everything?
Yeah, it must be. Like they said something like they're gonna let me try everything and see what I really like, and then they're just gonna let me do one thing when I've realised what I like.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Rather than saying, okay.
So I did like a meeting there. I spoke to some women in the building and I had like a proper like interview, stuff like that.
So you think that would be more suited to you and your learning style?
Well, I wanted to like go to a college which wasn't in Brighton, so I could get like a taste of like going like on a bus or like on a train and walking or cycling the rest of the way, instead of like just happening on like a short bus ride up to the Met or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, so it's more of like you learning some life skills as well, because you're able to like go to and explore different. Well, I suppose.
Also, Plumpton's a nice place. It's so like like countryside
That's
area.
nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that now. It's a nice space over there. And also, I'm sure they also offer for some people where they can board there as well, stay there.
Yeah,
Some
yeah, they do
courses.
that. Yeah, you can they can like give you a house and I think a car and like just like a place
Like
to
a
live.
lot of support, so there's a place to live.
So instead
on
of
top
like having to go back and forth in between where you live in Plumpton, you can just go there. And like you also there's it's one of like you don't get many colleges like this, but so there's some where like you do, but like this college has got a lot more to offer if you own this position. If you haven't passed your GCSEs and you're going to this college, you can still take quite a lot of the courses still, and they will still allow you to.
Okay.
And they also give you the option to retake your GCSEs in the building, and they'll like help you.
So they're obviously like investing in all those young people.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what?
They're trying to get them ready,
We
man.
believe in you.
Yeah.
GCSEs
just
isn't
want
going to
them
be
to
a stumbling
succeed.
block. Let's take things slowly and let's work through.
So let's say if I don't pass my GCSEs, which I have no idea how to answer if I am or not. If I don't though, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I'm still going to get into the college, and I'm also still going to get to do like the things I want to do there.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, on that, I spoke to some young people the other day who were talking about their experiences, and they were saying that pressure, so like the pressure of them having to do their GCSEs, knowing that they're in their lessons and not really understanding,
Yeah, man.
and it being difficult, was overwhelming for them. So they just said, you know what, I'm going to sack this off. I'm just going to bunk.
Exactly. That's the exact reason why people bunk in the first place. Like, what I think is that they should make schools a little bit more like enjoyable as well, because like I think teachers like fail to make kids stay in their lessons. Like, if you want someone to stay, you can't really be like telling them what to do the whole time. Like, you gotta like give them a break, man. Do you know what I mean?
Talk to them on a level, respect them, make them feel like they want to be
Also,
there.
let them learn in their own pace. They're gonna learn slow for a lesson. That's just peak, but they're gonna have other lessons to learn.
Yeah, I know. I get everything what you're saying from the young person. I'd love to get a teacher on there for them to talk about how stressed they are.
Yeah,
working with-
I would generally like to see like a teacher's point of view. That would be interesting, man.
because I think that if you're like, as you said, like,
So I might be a bit wrong here. They might actually have something to say to me which I like could be corrected on.
well, you just got to think there's one of you, and as you said, there's one teacher, and there's 30 of you, and you're trying to get that teacher's attention, but they're having to try and teach everybody, yeah? And if the majority of people are able to learn, but then you got a few what ain't, they're going to work with the majority. Yes, that's not their fault, but there needs to be more support for those three young people.
There was one thing I used to always say. I used to always find that like a lot of my teachers would like always favourite one student, and it would always be that one really smart student. And then like that teacher would somehow like hypnotise themselves into thinking that every student in the class is like that one.
Okay.
And then like when they get something done, that's when they move on in the lesson to a new thing.
And that might be because it's like...
And that could be like some like really smart guy who gets everything done in seconds. That's not the case for me.
What
That
about
means
everybody else?
exactly. Some people might be doing it as quick as him. Some people not. But it like there might be other people suffering like me. It's like this is what I mean. Like they need more classes, more like sets. Do you know what I mean?
No, I hear that.
They put too many like different kind of minds in lessons, in my opinion.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Because obviously like funding comes from like, you know, you've got
Yeah,
big
it's all
pot
about
funding goes to
money.
government, and
It's
then
the
it's
money.
like schools then have to divvy it up. I mean, from my opinion, I reckon there should be more little small pods or more specialists.
There is quite a lot of like reading rooms I've seen, like learning rooms, like dotted around, like these little like rooms you can like they're like buildings almost like this you can go to after
in
school.
school?
Not in school, like
Just around.
there's one you know where Preston Wines is near Stringer?
Yeah.
Literally over the road there's like this like little building, it's like a green building. And it's got like reading rooms in like the same font as Subway. Anyway, you can go in there after school and you can like go catch up.
See,
like,
no, but
learn
see, that's
stuff.
as good because I mean, with a lot of people, you might just need that little bit of space or someone just to reassure you, be like, yeah, actually,
There's the one down at Preston Park as well.
okay. That's
There's quite a
nice.
few of them, man. They're usually dotted around near the schools as well. So like,
So maybe that's saying what needs to be everywhere nationally.
well, I think they're trying to get more and more, and like also libraries as well offer a lot of stuff for like kids to go to.
Yeah, but
You can go there like
but you don't mind going library, right?
No, library's chilling, man. I've been there a few times with my tutor as well.
Then how many? Yeah, with your tutor. But how many of your mates will go library without their tutor telling them to go?
They wouldn't go library.
No, do you see what I'm saying?
And if they were to go there, they'd probably fuck about as well. Sorry for swearing, but like it's just like the truth of it. They would just like bro. A lot of my mates do go to the library a lot of the time, and they just mess about in there. And God knows what they get up to in there, man.
So that's what I mean. When you're a tutor or an adult and you're there to learn, then obviously
they're gonna discipline themselves a little bit.
Okay, cool. So there we go. So we look like there needs to be more little pods and more opportunities for people to learn.
It will happen one day in the future. It just needs to happen quicker, man.
But it's like that. But look how quick phones evolved, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, phones evolved quick, so I don't see why schools
education's probably the same as like it was years ago. And
education hasn't really changed, and like there's a lot of proof to even say it has as well. Like it hasn't changed, man.
No, it's not changed, and I feel like the minute it's probably failing more young people. Not blaming any teachers, but there's more and more young people who are neat, not in education, employment, or training, man, who are just about. But then at the same time, some of their parents might not know how to get any HCP. Or know what support's out there.
You need to stop scaring people with test dates as well. Like when they give an assignment out, they need to stop like going like, oh, if you don't give this in quick enough, you'll get like a behaviour point or some shit, or like detention.
Like, this needs to be done by this time.
You'll miss out on like the school trip. And they need to stop bribing you to do like work which you don't even want to do because it's not fun. And I promise you, there is a way to like do school fun. Like, you've just got to rethink it.
I reckon incentivise, yeah.
America did it.
Yeah. What did America do?
Go on.
No, I mean, if you incentivise things, like there could be the opportunity to kind of do some fun things or do some fun activities based on not even if you're completing the work, but if you're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, if people are trying, they're kind of rewarded for trying, or I'm not sure exactly what would work yet, but there's so many things what could be better than what's currently going on now. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Kind of like a lot of the secondary schools I've seen are a bit of a mess at the moment.
So we could talk about this all day, yeah. What do you think, yeah? What would you like from you telling your story about your experience? Like, obviously you said, if we just summarise a bit, you were feeling really low and alone at year 7. You wanted a friend there to be able to chill. Work was getting difficult, so you couldn't complete it.
Stress, man.
Stress, and then you just started bunking off.
Because I made friends who are also kind of in the same position as me.
That's what I think. You all gravitate towards each other, right? Because like you're all like, this is peak.
Like all the smart kids, they stay in school because that's what they live for, man. They like being smart. I'm not saying I'm not smart. I just think
smart in different ways.
I just think there's a difference between being smart in a like the school's kind of smart, like the stuff they tell you how to be smart to like you discovering smart yourself. Do you know what I mean?
No. I can like what you're saying.
I'm proud of
is
myself that I just said that actually.
No, but you're talking like life skills, like as in you could be smart and be able to work certain things out. What you just use your common sense and work it out, whereas at school, it's learning about Macbeth and Romeo and Juliet and Pythagoras. And like, do you know what I mean? Algebra and like, I mean.
I don't even know half that shit.
Yeah, whereas you want to know about percentages, mortgages.
Yeah,
real life business of what you're actually going to need.
They don't really teach business in school up until year 11, and they don't even teach it that well.
They just touch on it just so that you have to.
And only a small percentage of the year actually get business as well. Only like 100 of them get business.
Okay, so
like 200. Out of the whole year in my school, there was 360 kids, and I'd say only about 90 to 100 kids were probably getting business because they've got to split up all the kids in different classes and stuff. There's like different things.
Cool. So all right. So what do you want people to get out of this?
I want people to listen to this, and then I want them to be like, oh, I actually relate to this. And then like, I hope that they can listen into this and then like, hopefully learn something they can even help themselves. Because if you're in the same position and you might need an EHCP plan and you have a neurodiversity, go sign up. Trust me.
All right, cool. Well, look, thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Much
no problem,
appreciated,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you,
I'm
that was
glad
good.
to have come.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So yeah, guys, thank you for that. Henry's done amazing, and like that story's been really powerful. As I said, like subscribe, like, comment if there's anything we can cover. You know, I'm always up for trying to cover topics people are into. If you want to get involved, as I said, you know what the channel's about. It's about providing opportunities for young people.
Yeah, man.
In whichever way. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. Welcome to Engaging to Change. My name is Henry and I'm here with Dan today. And I'm going to be asking a few questions. How was working in like schools and like what did you get up to there?
Yeah, we just needed advice from a professional.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like 11 years old, 12 years old. I was like, oh, I didn't want to have it.
Yeah, like, is this all right? Is this, you know, like to bring everyone together?
Yeah, man.
That's quite powerful. And just seeing that some people who don't have anything, they don't have much, but they're just so happy.
Yeah, still getting on with life, doing the flow of life.
And I see like kids queuing up to play a PlayStation in the shop. You know, like to play on it. They're waiting, queuing up outside the
when
door.
They could be doing what them people were doing with like the TikTok and stuff. Well, that's been a whole hour.
Cool.
Cool, man.
Thank you.
Tried interviewing you.